to our own situations in life. So from the same event, you can draw a different interpretation, and I can draw a different interpretation. So in today's episode, what I am going to share is my own interpretation of things from what I have learned in nature, of the events that I have seen in nature, and I have interpreted from those events for myself. And I hope that will help you as well. And also, as I said, there are so many things that we can learn from nature, but I have picked only top three according to my own wisdom. All right. So, and there are so many other things as well. There are so many valuable lessons that we can get from nature, and we can maybe do a series of episode where we can learn about other things as well. But for today's episode, we will be limited to top three things that we can learn from nature that are very, very necessary for our life, our happiness, our success, our growth, and so many other things, right? So, okay, let's begin with the first lesson that we can learn from nature, that is balance. Nature always operates in balance. Right? Life exists in balance. Think about it. Think about the Earth, the only planet in our solar system that has life. And it it is having life because it has a balanced distance from sun. It will if the earth will go too far from sun, it will become too cold and life will cease to exist. If it will come too close to sun, the earth will become too hot and again life will cease to exist, right? So it is in the balanced distance where life exists, life thrives, and there are things that grows, right? So it is in the balance that life exists. Also, if according to my limited understanding, that if Earth is a like 2-3 centimeters away from Sun, life will not cease to exist, right? And if Earth is 2-3 centimeter closer to Sun, again life will not cease to exist. Yes, there will be changes. If it is little far from Sun, then maybe temperature will be a little bit cooler, and maybe there will be more ice or something. But life will not cease to exist. There will be changes. What I'm trying to say here is that if you think that balance is there in one point, it's a mistake. Balance is there in a window, right? So we need to find that balance window, not the point in time or in space or in the events, that there is no one particular point of balance. There is a window of balance. If we can operate within that window of balance, if we can oscillate between that window of balance, we can learn to exist, thrive, and grow in our life, in every area of our life. So what it teaches us, what balance, what this whole event teaches us. It says that our life also exists, thrive, and grows in balance. If there is too much of work and there is no play, there is no rest, then this will lead to burnout, and there will be no growth, right? And if there is too much of play, and if we are always basking in the glory of paid data packets, meaning we are always watching Netflix and scrolling reels and all, we are not productive, then again, we will not grow, right? So we have to find a balance where we are productive as well, we are playing as well, we are having some rest as well, we are interacting with people as well, and we are having a good relationship with people, we are existing as a good citizen in society. So there needs to be a balance in all aspect that we do. Let me give you another example of nature. So if you want to grow a plant, right? You give it too much of sunlight, it will dry. If you keep it away from sunlight, again, it will not be able to make its own food, again, it will die, right? You give it too much water, again, it will drown. If you give it very less or very little water, no water, again, it will get dry, right? So uh, a balanced element that only can lead to the growth of that plant. Too little of something, it will die. Too much of something, it will die. And as you grow, the disproportion of these elements, its growth will hamper. The more you are in balance, it will grow accordingly. So the lesson that we can take from here is that if we want to grow, we need to maintain a balance of different things, of different aspects in our life. We need to have a balance. Only then we can exist. Number one. Number two, can thrive and grow if we are in balance. So that was lesson number one that we can take from nature, balance. What is the next lesson? Second thing is consistency and patience, both. If we are consistent but not patient enough, again, we will not be able to reap the fruit. And same thing. So let me give you the example from nature. You sow a seed in the soil. It will take its own time to grow and become a tree and then give you a flower or fruit, right? So if you are starting something, it will take some time. It will take its own course of action before it can fully grow and it can start providing you with fruits or flower for whatever you have planted. So, for example, business, before it can give you a consistent return, a monthly, some consistent monthly income, it will take some time. Okay, and in between that time, it will be consuming resources. It will be consuming your time. For example, in the tree example, it will be consuming your time. It will need your protection. It will need your support. You need to water the plant. You need to protect it from maybe animals, from bigger storm. You need to provide the sufficient amount of all kind of resources, maybe fertilizer. Maybe you need to do a little bit of kneading of the soil, right? Everything that you need, in the beginning, you have to provide it. It will take its own sweet time to grow and become a plant or a tree, and only then it can provide you back. Similarly, in our life, if we want to reap the fruit of something, we need to give it its own sweet time. If we want to become healthier, we need to start doing something and then keep doing it. Okay, so let me ask you a question. So the tree will take maybe a year or two, but in between, if you stop taking care of the tree, will it give you any result? Most likely no. It will dry without your resources, without your protection, without watering. It will die. Similarly, I mean, you cannot say that, okay, it will give me fruits after 2 years, maybe 1.5 year down the line, I will start taking care of this plant so that within the 6 months, it will give me the result or it will give me the fruit. Similarly, in life, when you want something, you need to consistently nurture it. You need to sow it the right time. You need to consistently nurture it as well, right? Before you can start reaping the fruits, before you can start getting the result, it will take your resources, your time, your energy, and other things, whatever it requires. But in this time, you need to support that idea, that seed, that business, or whatever you are trying here. It will take your time, it will take your resources, but you have to give it. It will take its own course. From day one, you cannot expect any kind of return, whether you are working on your health, whether you are working on your business, whether you are working on relationship or any other thing. It will take its own sweet time. You need to be consistent and you need to have patience. When the time is right, when the efforts are right, intention is right, timing is right, result will come. That will come in your favor always. All right. So consistency and patience is another lesson that we can get from nature. It's a very important lesson. Okay. So and the third one, the third It's one of the things that I want to tell you before I get to the third one, that these first, second, third are not in the order. That the most important one is balance and the second is patience. No, all are necessary. They are just numbered. Some number has to be given to them. So that's why I have given. So the third, the last for today's episode, but not the least, is cyclical nature of life. Whatever rises comes down also. So you can observe this pattern in nature everywhere. If tree has grown, it will die someday. If the sun has risen, it will come down some point in time. If there is winter, there will come summer. If there is summer, there will be rain and change of season. There's always a cycle in nature's work, right? So, what is the lesson that we can take from the cyclical nature of life? That we are also a product of nature and we will also go through cycles. Any ecosystem will go through cycles. Look at economy. It goes from recession, depression, and progression. Every all kind of all kind of rise and fall is there. Look at the history. There are different empires who has risen. It will come down. Similarly, in our life also, there will be phase of growth. There will be phase. So, since childhood we have been growing, that was a phase of growth. Then there will come a time when we'll stop growing. I'm talking about the physical sense. We'll stop growing. Our height will stop growing. Our muscles will stop growing. What we can do, we can fight a little bit and we can keep it stagnant as much as we can, but there will come a time when we'll start declining. So it's a cycle. Similarly, um, there will be phases where we can be very, very productive, where we can be very, very focused on something because we are driven by something. But over time, that will die, or I should not say die, but it will come down, even if it is there for a few days. But that phase comes in all of our lives. There will be days when we are productive. There will be months then that we are productive. So there can be time when you think that, okay, since last 2 years, I am very, very good at taking care of my health. I'm waking up early. I'm going for workout regularly. I am taking care of my nutrition. But from last few days, I'm not able to do so. I'm not able to wake up early. I'm not able to take care of my nutrition. I need some more rest and I'm not feeling like working out or whatever. So this is a phase. This is this is cycle, right? You were very productive some time back. Maybe you are not today, or maybe you are very productive today, but it might happen that you might not be able to stay productive forever. You will take up a different kind of path in future. All right. So what I'm trying to say is when there is a phase of growth in whatever it is, whether it's your life, whether it's your business, career, finance, or whatever, enjoy that while it lasts. When it comes to a fall, understand that this is a phase and this too will pass. And if you are going through such kind of phase of downward spiral, understand that this too will pass. And there will come a time when you will start feeling the growth again. So, what you need to do in this kind of time, you need to again look to the nature. So, when there is a tree, it goes through all kind of seasons. There is autumn, there is fall, right? So, when there is fall, what do trees do? They just exist. They don't try to grow their leaves, they don't try to grow themselves. There will be a different season for them. But for time being, what they are trying is they are trying to exist. So when you are in a downward phase, do what is best you can do for yourself, right? If it means that you need to rest more and be less productive, it's all right. Maybe till yesterday you were doing 2 hours of workout. Today you are not able to do it. Maybe 20 minutes is enough. Maybe 2 minutes is enough. Just survive that phase, right? Keep the spirit high. Be hopeful that this too will pass. This phase will pass and another growth period will come. All right. So this is cyclical nature of life that we need to adopt and we need to gracefully progress through the times when we are not that productive, when there is not so much of a growth period in our life. Accept it gracefully, be hopeful, keep doing the effort for the growth as much as you can, and when the time is right, you will reap the result for sure. All right. With that, in the same thing, I would like to add one more thing that with this cyclical nature of life, so if you know something about farming or if you know some farmer, you can ask people that there is a right time to sow seed, right? If you are not sowing seed at the right time, means it is not like it's not fixed date and fixed time as per se, but there is a window when you can sow the seeds for the optimal yield. If you will miss the window, your crop will not be as good as it should be, right? So again, that comes to the balance thing as we talked in the first lesson. But if you miss that window, you will not be able to get it as good as the crop here. But as it is a cyclical nature, that time will come again. So if you have missed some opportunity, if you have missed a growth period where you have not been able to grow as much as you could have, don't haste, don't work in a hurry, be patient, right? The second lesson that we learned, consistency and patience. Consistently put some effort, again, that period will come, again, that opportunity will come. That time, you need to make the most of it, right? So, this is cyclical nature of life. Whatever has risen will fall. Whatever is growing today will come down eventually at some point in time. And it happens with all kind of ecosystem. Your health is very good today. Chances are at some point in time you will feel or you will go through some kind of health problems. And if you are going through some health problem, again, you will feel better very soon. This is a cyclical nature of life. If you are going through, again, it is a reminder, if you are going through a downward time, the right time will come. All you need to do right now is put some good effort and just exist in this time. Just survive this time. The opportunity for growth will come again. The time for growth will come again, and you will experience that growth. You will experience the rise again, right? So these are three most important lessons that, according to me, most important lesson from the nature. There are many, many others. If you like this one, please let me know in the comment section that you have liked this one so that I can make a series out of it. There are so many more which we can learn from nature. So let me know what you have learned from today's discussion, from today's episode, and what you have learned from nature. Or what are your learnings? What are your interpretations of these events which we have just discussed? And if there is anything else that you want to let me know about, I will be very glad to know your perspective and learn from your wisdom and from your learning. All right. So with this, I would say that we have come to the end of the discussion of today's topic, top three, the biggest lessons that we can learn from nature for our life, that we can implement in our life for happiness, for success, for growth. Right. All right, so that's the end of the topic. But before we end this episode, I would like to announce again similar announcement that holistic happiness